This is the scale fraction visual, level 1. So in this level, it's asking you to add and subtract fractions with like and unlike denominators. So what that means that we need to do is we need to convert both fractions so that they have the same denominator. In this case, we're looking at 1 2/4 plus 3/8. So since 4 can divide into 8 evenly, we can divide our whole number line into 8s. You can kind of see when you look at the fractions next to each other that the mark where the 2/4 ends would also line up with the 4/8. So that's kind of how you can tell that these are going to be equivalent. So we'll show 1 2/4 or 1 4/8 plus 3 more 8s, which should give us 1 7/8. You can see on the number line how each of those pieces gets divided up. So now we're looking at 8s again, but we're looking at 1/2 plus 8s, or plus 1 2/8. So again, we can divide into 8s. I'm going to start with the larger number this time, just because it makes it a little bit easier for me. So we'll start with 1 2/8 plus 1/2, which is equal to 4/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, which should give us 1 6/8. Now we're looking at 6, and we are also looking at halves. And 6 is going to be your least common denominator here. So we can divide everything into 6, show 1 1/2 or 1 3/6 minus 3/6, which would bring us back to 1. Now we're looking at 4ths and 8ths again. So again, we'll divide into 8ths. We'll show 1 3/4, which would be the same as 1 6/8 minus 6/8, which would take us back to 1 again. Now 4ths and halves. So we can divide the whole thing into 4ths. We'll start with 3/4 minus 1/2. And remember, 1/2 is equal to 2/4. So that would give us 1/4 as our difference.